We welcome you back to Legends Field here at Pendleton Heights High School. It is time for game number 2 of our triple header today on 9-Star and the ISC Sports Network. Lake Central and Pendleton Heights play in the final game of their pool of this Horseshoe Classic. Pendleton Heights defeated by Jennings County 1-0 in the morning game. And then Lake Central put it on Jennings County in the game that was played after that one by a score of 13-1. So if Lake Central wins this one, they will be on to the championship game. That championship game, also the other game going on field number 2, which will be Center Grove and Chesterton, will likely determine who's going to be in the championship game that we will televise for you at 6 o'clock. As you can see from those bright, shining faces, Greg Rakestraw, Jim Leisure with you here on 9-Star and the ISC Sports Network. And we didn't have a chance to televise Lake Central, but a 13-1 win, Jim. They were awfully impressive.
Very impressive, and this is a ball club that entered that the ball game with a .419 team batting average, and after hanging 13 runs on the board, I got to believe that's going up.
Shelby Messer, again, will be the pitcher today, and really, it's early in the season. Pendleton Heights has played 4 times. She and Eliza Finley really kind of split the time. Messer had the better stats coming in. Finley, though, was impressive. Even in the loss, she threw 7 innings of 1-run ball.
No doubt about it. She, was hitting spots and getting ahead of hitters. Just got no offensive run support.
So, Jolie Adams will lead things off for Lake Central. Jolie is a junior, and Jolie's play will likely show you her skill set, but this should tell you about how talented she is. She has verbal to play at Auburn in 2 years, and if you can play in the SEC, tells me you're a pretty fair player.
Yeah, they play a little softball and baseball down in that SEC, don't
I believe there was a year where all 14 teams made the tournament a couple of years ago. That swing shows you some pop, but it goes right to the right fielder. That is Koffel in right field, and a talented player in Adams is retired as a putout. Adams 8 for her first 12 to start the season. That was going into the morning game, or the noon game, I should say. So now Mackenzie Kalinsky. She is the left fielder. Kalinsky on the season batting 3 for 8. Has 4 runs scored, 2 RBI, and 2 doubles for the starting left fielder. If you weren't with us for our morning telecast, this is an annual event, although weather can sometimes prohibit it from being played, which was the case last year. And we started playing games 2 years ago before rains put the kibosh on the day, about midway through. This one fouled back, and the count at 1-1. But the 6 teams participating, Pendleton Heights, Lake Central, Jennings County, that's in one of the pools. The other one is Chesterton, Center Grove, and Decatur Central. Center Grove, already a victory over Decatur Central. Decatur Central then beat Chesterton. Center Grove and Chesterton underway as we speak. We'll kind of update you on that score. And again, regardless of who will be playing in the championship game, we will have live coverage of that. Rob Brown will step in for me for that one. Jim Leisure just lives here this time of year, basically. And so they'll have that about 6 o'clock. 1-2 the count. Kalinsky stays alive, and we'll do it again.
Greg, I've said this before. This is the press box here at Pendleton Heights is really nice. Leather couches in the back. I probably could live here. We did a game Tuesday, and I'm here all day. I could have probably just stayed.
And frankly, there's enough food in here to last you for weeks.
Well, I don't know about me, but I mean, there's.
Well, I was assuming nobody else would have. I mean, just saying there's enough food here if something were to happen.
I was going to say, I'm still thinking I could power through most of that in a couple days. But
so Kalinsky retired as a putout. There's 2 away. And now Taylor Schaefer will step to the plate. Schaefer is the shortstop. Schaefer just a sophomore. She is 6 for 13 so far this year. That was entering play today. You saw it on the graphic, 4-0-1. Lake Central played to a 1-1 tie to start the year with another northern powerhouse in Penn. I remember on ISC doing a semi-state where both those teams were participating a handful of years ago. Lake Central very recently has made an appearance in the state championship game. And frankly, if you're coming down from the region to play in this tournament every year, that tells me you take it seriously, and this is your chance to kind of gauge yourself against the best teams in central Indiana.
That's a big deal, and even southern Indiana, as you got teams coming up from the south, so good barometer.
This one sprayed foul. This Lake Central team put up 23 runs on Wednesday against Chesterton, who is here playing. They also put up 16 early this week against Michigan City. So literally, the last 3 times they have played, they have put up 13 runs or more. Just off the corner, that hit the target, but Clark's target was outside. 2-2 the count.
Certainly fun to play and certainly fun to coach when you're hanging runs like that. And, again, it's just a matter of you get hot and you want to stay hot. And you talk about the tie early in the season, non-conference games. That's not horribly uncommon.
Schaefer turns on this one. And I cannot compliment the coaches of these teams enough. Pendleton Heights stats updated after the 10 o'clock game before playing now. Literally, as I'm talking, the Lake Central stats update to include the game that just completed.
That is impressive. Unfortunately, I'm not that impressive, so I will be talking entering stats. Entered the tournament batting this, or entered the tournament with this many hits.
You are simply impressive in other ways.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm a tremendous singer, and if I could dance, I'd be a triple threat. I just don't remember what that third threat would be.
Count it 2-2. High and in tight, and the count runs full. So Schaefer, 7 of 17 on the season. 6 runs scored, 8 runs batted in. That is the team high.
Shelby Messer did pitch that Tuesday game I was referring to and got the win.
Popped up. Second baseman backing up. Right fielder coming in. Second baseman calls everybody off. That's Fisher. And this potent Lake Central lineup is retired in order in the top half of the first. So the Arabians come to the plate. And let's give you the lineup for Coach Rob Davis's team as you see the defensive handiwork to end the top half of the first. Kaya Hubble will lead things off for Pendleton Heights. She is the center fielder. Lily Koffel is in right. She batted 9th in the first game. They're going to bat her second in this contest. Sydney Clark is the catcher. She will bat third. Caitlin Goodwin is the first baseman batting fourth. Bo Shelton, the shortstop, bats fifth. Morgan Humble, who had 2 hits in 2 plate appearances coming off the bench in the first game. She will bat sixth. She is the DP. Gloria Richardson, who has made numerous outstanding plays defensively these last couple of games for Pendleton Heights, will bat seventh. Kylie Fisher is the second baseman batting eighth, and Avery Miller, the third baseman, will bat ninth. Sophia Calderaro, you see that spectacular ERA that she has put together early this season. She pitched the first 3 innings of the game previous to this one, and it was really in the top of the third that the score kind of got away from Jennings County. So at that point, she was then pulled to potentially save her for this game or the championship game. And so Sophia Calderaro will be in the circle for Lake Central.
Now, Coach Baker Runyon, obviously, again, trying to win the tournament. It's not about stats or whatever. It's about winning this whole thing. And like you said, when the score got a little lopsided there, I think 11-0 is when they made the change there and brought in some people. You talked to Greg, and I want to make the point about Morgan Humble and Lily Koffel. Koffel batted 9th, got 2 hits. So now she's batting second.
Reward those that are playing
absolutely,
well.
Absolutely. And when I was a coach, I had kids, and, well, Coach, I don't like batting 8th. And, well, get a couple hits, son, and make me move you. I mean, honestly, there's 2 attitudes you can take to that. You can sulk and mope around and, well, I'm better than so-and-so and I should be batting third. Or you can say, you know what, I don't want to bat 8th, but I'll tell you what, I still get 3 shots at it, and I'm going to get a couple base hits, if not 3. I'm going to make this coach play me.
Calderaro, that ERA translates to, in 19 innings pitched, she's allowed 1 earned run so far this year. So here's Hubble. Hubble will play at Bradley in the future. Center fielder, she had a slap double down the left field line. Officially 1 for 4 in the morning loss. Contact made, catch made, 1 out. So Calderaro fields her position well. And now here's Lily Koffel.
Just right off the end of the bat there. Didn't get a great swing at it. You see here it's almost kind of a slap swing and just was able to get it before it hit the ground there.
The partner mentioned how Koffel had a pair of base hits. She was 2 for 3 officially. She had a hit in 1 at-bat in the previous 3 games. Pendleton Heights began their season with a victory against Westfield. then lost to Center Grove here last Friday. And again, there is a chance those two teams could meet up again either at 4 o'clock or 6 o'clock to finish up this tournament. Then came back with a 4-2 victory against Shenandoah on Tuesday that we had for you on 9 Star. Koffel tries to put this one down. Well done by the third baseman. Let that one trickle foul. 2 strikes. That is Renshin that is the third baseman for Lake Central.
Young sophomore comes up and, like you said, makes a pretty heady play. They're 60-foot base paths. It's somebody from the left-handed batter's box with good wheels. You're probably not going to throw them out. Why not just let it roll foul?
This one sent to second, 1 hop. Koffel flying down the line, but well done by Morales. And good to mention Morales' name. She will not hit, so we'll just talk about her exclusively in the field. Makes a solid play, 2 down.
Aubrey Morales, the only senior that I see in the lineup for Lake Central right now. Relatively young team. Lots of juniors, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 sophomores. So obviously they want to win now, and they'd like to win this year, but the next 2 years bode fairly good for them.
Morales is going to stay close to home, play at Calumet College of St. Joseph. Young lady from Jennings County we saw also going to play there next year as well, at the NAIA level. So here's Clark. That ball had a little late kind of hook to it, but didn't hit the zone in time. Clark went 0 for 3 in the morning game with a ground ball to third, a pop up to the shortstop, and fly ball to left field. And a couple of nice defensive plays at the dish, did Clark. That one hit her. So first base runner of today's game is hit by pitch. And this will bring up Caitlin Goodwin. Courtesy runner will be coming on board here quickly for Pendleton Heights as well. That's Olivia Burns that will come on to run to allow Clark to get the gear back on. So Goodwin, a junior, but she has verbal to play at the University of Dayton in a couple of years. Goodwin 0 for 2 with a walk and a stolen base in the morning game. Pendleton Heights stranded 7 runners over the 7 innings on the base path. Had 5 hits but could not get a run across in the loss to Jennings County. High and outside, 1-0 the count. This one lifted, right field, but just got under it. Again, hit it high, but didn't hit it that far as Goodwin flares it towards left, and that is the end of the inning. So we're scoreless through 1 here at the Horseshoe Classic. Again, this game going to go a long way to see who's playing in the 6 o'clock championship game that you're watching on 9 Star and the ISC Sports Network.
We are really heavily involved in the community, so there are multiple different volunteer opportunities that we can go and do.
Volunteer time to share their time and talents with organizations that need not only monetary assistance, but just people's time to help those organizations grow and thrive.
9 Star is a different kind of company, and the difference is you.
I want to say a quick hello to my buddy Scott Fleming, the softball coach at Marion. A rare Saturday off for Scotty for the Easter weekend, so he's checking out some softball on 9 Star today. Hello, Coach. Congratulations on that 27-game winning streak you are enjoying right now, and best of luck getting back to action coming up this week. 4, 5, and 6, Morgan Heineke will lead things off for Lake Central. As my partner alluded to, this is a Lake Central team with talent in the younger classes. Morgan is a junior, but she has verbal to play at Northern Kentucky in the Horizon League in a couple of years. Ground ball, foul ball. I had the pleasure of doing the Horizon League softball championships last year on ESPN+. Northern Kentucky was one of the participants in said tournament.
Tatum Biddle from New Palestine plays
Correct.
there. I know her mom real well, and very excited when she committed there, and great because she can go down and watch her.
That is a Northern Kentucky, in many sports, recruits the Indianapolis Metro, and obviously in this case, northern quadrant of the state. Heineke, the first baseman. That one fouled away.
Messer doing a nice job of throwing strikes. 3 pitches in this inning, 3 strikes.
Heineke 4 for 10 on this young campaign. 3 runs batted in. Does have a home run. 3 different players have gone big fly this year for Lake Central. They did have one in the previous game as well. A 3-run blast that just went left of the scoreboard.
You know, Greg, that's one of the things that so far this Pendleton team is lacking in is the power that they had last year, and a ton of home runs.
Well, you lose a player like Kylie Ryan, that's bound to happen.
Yeah.
I saw Kylie in action yesterday. She's the starting catcher as a freshman for Butler. She had a great day yesterday. 3 plate appearances, reached all 3 times. A walk, a single, and a double. And by the way, the Bulldogs currently stand atop the Big East standings midway through league play. Count at 1-2. And that misses. 2-2 the count. Center fielder and Hubble playing deep and to pull. Understandably so for the cleanup hitter. Good job on the off speed. Heineke couldn't time it out. Second strikeout and 4 batters faced, and there's 1 away.
Very nicely done, as you said, the change up there, the change of pace. And she didn't recognize it soon enough. You always kind of think fastball and adjust to everything else. And that thing looked like the same, release point, the same path as a fastball, but oops.
Izzy Portinga. Lines this one to the shortstop. 2 away.
Perfectly played defensively in the right position. Infield was slightly in. Getting the left side slightly in on the left-handed hitter. And
it's Bo Shelton that made the play. So here's Izzy Kalinsky. That misses. Kalinsky on the season. 6 of 11 at the plate. 3 runs scored, 5 runs batted in. She has homered twice. She is a sophomore, Mackenzie a junior. They bat 2nd and 6th do the Kalinskys on this team. That's in for a strike on the inside corner, and we're even at a ball and a strike.
Wind out there in center field, Greg, still kind of now looks like it's coming from the northeast. It's kind of blowing back toward the west and toward the southwest.
That doesn't happen very often. Ground ball, third baseman, should have time. Steps, fires, gets her. And 3 up, 3 down for a second consecutive inning. So good start from Messer here to this game for Pendleton Heights. Again, they played a 1-0 game this morning. And it's 0-0 here through an inning and a half. And one thing we have seen throughout the course of the last couple of games, we've seen Coach Davis's squad is, and he's still figuring some things out with this group, but it's a group that can field their position. That is certainly for sure.
No doubt about it. The defense has been absolutely stellar for Coach Davis's squad. I agree. I think he's, changing the lineup around, hitting some girls in spots where he thinks, that they're going to have their best success, and then maybe after a couple games realizing that perhaps I got somebody different, somebody better, and move them around.
Look at the respective coaching staffs. You saw Rob Davis on your screen a matter of moments ago. Brooke Baker-Runyon, the head coach for Lake Central. And it is a Lake Central program that, frankly, they plan on playing into June each and every year. They're big fans of the state finals moving to West Lafayette because it's a lot closer to them. They won state championships in 92, 2002, and 2004. They were the runners-up not that long ago in 4A as well.
A lot of different philosophies on schedules, and obviously Coach Baker-Runyon feels like, again, iron sharpens iron, so come down here, play good teams, and find out the speed. But, sometimes when you take over a program, now she took over a very good program, so not a lot to change there. But when you take over a program that hasn't had a lot of success, maybe you do schedule down a little bit, get the kids some confidence, get a couple of wins.
But it is contingent as Bo Shelton's at the plate. For any of these 4A schools outside of the Metro Indianapolis area, and Pendleton Heights is in the Metro Indianapolis area, playing a great league. If you have aspirations to get downstate or upstate, wherever you may be coming from, you have to play the best teams from Central Indy.
You have to go upstate or downstate.
So you know what you're going to be facing at some level in the tournament.
Yeah, again, I always just talk about the speed at which things happen. Things happen faster with good teams. And I don't mean necessarily foot speed. I mean it just happens faster when you got a good squad and you're well coached.
Shelton skies this one. Catcher turns, heads back, and runs out of real estate. Shelton at the plate this year is 2 for 12. Those two have left the building. 2 home runs and 5 runs batted in for Bo. He's going to play at Earlham College next year.
Good job there by Calderaro of just pointing that pop-up out to the catcher. She seemed a little bit confused, looked for help. Immediately she pointed to it. Unfortunately, again, not enough room, but I still love to see the communication. Little bitty things that make a big difference on good teams.
Calderaro looks in, gets the signal, and Shelton skies it again. Do it again at 1-2. And there's a good amount of foul territory behind home plate, down the lines here as well. Maybe a little bit more than some of these ladies are used to in, say, opposing stadiums.
Well, you mentioned it in the morning game, Greg. This is a college facility, basically.
Yep.
Is really what it is. And they played the Horizon League. I think you said conference tournament here a couple years ago.
More than a couple.
Okay.
But they have played it here in the past, yes, sir.
So, you're going to hopefully have college-type dimensions. I mean, sometimes ball fields, whether they be baseball or baseball or softball, are just kind of squeezed into whatever space is available. But clearly Pendleton laid this out well.
That one slips out of the hands and kind of level at 2-2.
Remember years ago when I was coaching baseball at Bishop Chatard High School, our softball stadium actually moved twice, and both times it was just like, if we cut through the parking lot here and we, cut that tree down there, we can squeeze it in.
Swing and a miss. Chase the inside fastball. First strikeout authored by Calderaro, and there's one away.
But clearly this facility has been well thought out and well laid out. And, one of the things that I don't know if I've ever done a Pendleton Heights softball game when there wasn't another event going on. Varsity baseball, freshman baseball, oftentimes the JV or the second field, as you would say in softball, is being utilized as well.
Humboldt and went 2 for 2. That was a mid-game replacement in the previous contest. She is now 3 for 5 on this young season. Is the junior. She's the DP in this game, is Morgan. Able to lay off of that one.
And sometimes, for a youngster, you have a good morning game and you almost try to do a little too much in the evening game or the second game. And really what you need to do is just do whatever you did in the first game. Just duplicate that approach, whether it was, controlling your nerves or looking for a certain pitch. But don't change anything. Don't try to do more. Just do what you're doing.
Calderaro didn't like the signals given from the dugout.
Of course, she's got the wristband on. As you can see, she looks down each time.
Humboldt turns on this one and skied it, but the park will easily hold it. Left fielder has it lined up in that high sky. That is Mackenzie Kalinsky. And there's 2 down.
Mackenzie sporting the shades there, which I think helped out on that particular one. You're going to see a little glare from her eyeballs if you look closely.
Had it the entire way, no problem. Very fundamental. Gloria Richardson, who of our early stages of the season has perhaps the best glove and the best walk-up song.
I would agree with both statements.
It's in for a strike.
We referenced it in the morning game, but she had an absolute night against Shenandoah on Tuesday. Made 4 spectacular catches. one in foul territory, one up against the wall and then crashing into the wall. The ball snow coning out of her glove, but bringing the bare hand up quickly to get it. Just was everywhere. It's hard to tell how many runs she saved.
It had an outfield assist in the morning game against Jennings County. Throwing out a runner at home plate. That misses. 2-1 the count. Richardson on the season. 2 for 12 at home plate.
And I'm sure she's looking to improve that and would like to become just as much a threat on the offensive side as she is on the defensive side.
Turns on that one, but that is easily foul.
Fan down there on the end there wisely made little or no effort. He acted like he tried to catch it, but I don't think he really wanted to.
Richardson set to play at Danville Area Community College next year. Outfield straight away for the number 7 hitter. Off speed, tails out of the zone. Richardson does not offer. And the counter run full now.
Yeah, Richardson, one of those juniors last year that, would have had trouble breaking into the lineup a lot because of those seniors that they had. Now's your chance.
Comes back with a fastball, then again skies it. But again, the left fielder in Kalinsky has it lined up, virtually the exact same spot as she caught the last one. The result is the same, and another 0 goes on the board. We are scoreless through 2 here in the Horseshoe Classic in Pendleton. You're watching high school softball on 9 Star and the ISC Sports Network.
9 Star is very focused on customer and member care, focused on making sure that however we communicate with the member and customer is how they want to communicate.
Sometimes we're the one person that they speak to in a day, and you want that conversation to be happy and pleasant.
As a nonprofit co-op, we're focused on providing the best service we can for our members.
9 Star is a different kind of company, and the difference is you.
The train flying by on State Road 67 and US 36 on your way out of town. Craig Rakestraw, Jim Leisure with you here on 9 Star and the ISC Sports Network.
Well, if you live in Pendleton long, you realize that is a very active train track.
Yes, it is.
Unfortunately, made some national headlines a couple months ago. I don't know what it was, 3 or 4 months ago, when a 18-wheeler got hung up on the tracks and can't stop the old freight train. Large explosion and collision. Luckily, no one was injured. Of course, you can barely hurt a freight train, I think, unless it totally derails. But most vehicles don't really provide much resistance.
Here's Kate Renshin at the plate. 7, 8, and 9 coming up this time through. Renshin 4 for 10 on the season. 6 runs batted in. Has both a double and a triple this early stage of the year. And that one misses.
Yeah, it just came out of her hand a little wrong there. And of course, she knows that she's probably going to dry her hand off and may have some, perspiration or something.
Pardon you noted this earlier, and you're spot on about it. The winds have seemingly shifted a little bit. They have not really let up as we thought they kind of would today. But it's at times almost blowing straight in from center field. Renshin gave that a wave on the way by. And the count is 1-1.
Yeah, normally when a hitter does that, they've been fooled a little bit and kind of at the last second go ahead and flip their wrist. They're going to get it called anyway. So, we used to teach good swing or no swing. You're either going to take a Ruthie and cut or don't swing.
This one lifted foul. Do it again at 1-2. Quick check of the score over in field number 2. Center Grove has an early 4-0 lead on Chesterton. It's been thought that Center Grove was likely the team coming out of the other pool and playing in the championship game, and that's certainly kind of holding true. Third baseman hops over and couldn't get there in time. There's nothing you can do about that one. Perfectly placed by Renshin. That's the first base hit of the day for either side, and leadoff runners aboard for the first time for either team as well.
Yeah, again, you're going to see it right there, a little slap kind of run up toward the pitcher. slap it, try to find that hole, that gap, and then just outrun it.
Great job by our crew to show you that down the line as well. Michaela Van Vossen will step to the plate. She is the DP in today's contest. Infield playing in case the ball is going to be put down by the lefty. Outside corner for a strike.
Really large secondary lead there by Wrenchen. Just bounded off that bag once the ball was released. And Clark may want to take a little look at her now with the left-handed hitter. You got somebody kind of in your way as far as throwing the ball down there.
Van Vossen, the freshman. They're going to throw down, but again, you have to wait until somebody's at the bag. Doesn't do you any good if nobody is there. Counted 0-2. Van Vossen 2 for 5 this season, so she is just kind of rotating into the starting lineup. She has scored 6 runs, which tells me she's spent some time as a courtesy runner early in the year as well. Slapper, shortstop. We'll try to go the short way, and air mails the throw. Now they're trying to advance to third, throw down, a good one, but not in time. And then because of that, the runner behind the play will get to second.
After crashing into the umpire.
So error on the throw, an E6. And runners at second and third with nobody out.
Fielder's choice for Van Vossen.
And again, if that throw is accurate, that is the out at second base. So hence the error. And now the pitcher in Calderaro will come to the plate. And I think I'm legally obligated to say help her own cause as the pitcher when she comes to the plate.
You must. And, it's so rare, honestly. Sometimes even at the high school level to see pitchers bat either in baseball or softball. So,
well, to your point, she has had 1 plate appearance so far this year and went 0 for 1. So, again, not be surprised if this one's going down, even with nobody out. Took a swing at that one and couldn't time out the off-speed pitch.
Trying to get a quick look at Coach Baker Runyon to make sure that she wasn't going, wait, what? Did you not see the sign? There was a little bit of communication there. I couldn't really see what she was saying.
Top of the lineup will roll back through in Adams, which because of her bat may, say, hey, all right, take your cut here and let's see what happens.
One of the things I noticed about Jolie Adams when the first at bat was during warm-ups, she was in that on-deck circle, and she was absolutely tuned in to that pitcher. I mean, she bats .667, but not because, she works at it. She didn't waste an opportunity.
Calderaro wasn't cheated on that swing. 1-2 the count.
Some of the best players I ever had, Greg, were the kids who really took it seriously and, again, never wasted a rep, never wasted a cut, never wasted an opportunity to get better, and Adams was over there just studying the pitcher.
Just off the corner. Clark did her best to frame it and pull it back across the corner. Umpire says no, 2-2 the count. By the way, updating on that Center Grove Chesterton game, now 6-0 the lead for the, you can't say Trojans because that's both of them, lead for Center Grove in that game. Off the hands and foul.
And you've already mentioned the run production by the Indians from Lake Central, but them Center Grove Trojans can put up a bushel full as well.
Well, they've now played 3 times at this facility, and they're seeming on their way to double digits in all 3. When they played here last Friday in the regularly scheduled game against the Arabians. Won it 15-6 at CG. Of course, they too have played in the state championship game like Lake Central has on numerous occasions. And have brought home the victory numerous times as well. 2 years ago, they hosted the state finals when, due to the concerns in the COVID aftermath, we couldn't play at Purdue. Swing and a miss. So the off-speed pitch works to perfection. Messer has a 3rd strikeout in his many innings. A key out, but again, this is where the run production is expected to happen for Lake Central as Adams steps to the plate.
Remember, Adams
And they're going to walk her. Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe say somebody else. Intentional bases on balls.
Yeah, I was going to say, because the last time up, she hit an absolute rocket to right field. Luckily, right at the right fielder, Koffel. But, yeah, that's honestly a wise move. If I'm going to lose, I'm not going to lose to that guy or that gal. That's the Barry Bonds theory. I'm going to make somebody else beat me.
So Kalinsky now will come to the plate. Rob Davis will have a meeting of the minds in terms of where the ball is going to go here. Kalinsky struck out last time. And if you're just tuning in and we're with us, Adams was verbal as a junior to play in the SEC at Auburn. She had 9 hits in the first 5 games of the season for Lake Central. And so with runners on second and third, just give her the bag at first. Okay, let's try our hand at somebody else.
Now, again, with a team batting average of .419, there's a good chance that the next person, pretty good hitter too, but Jolie Adams is on a different level.
So infield in with Kalinsky. Outfield playing shallow for the number 2 hitter as well. That one got away from the catcher. They're going to try it, but the throw couldn't get there in time. Now they'll throw behind. Don't get the runner leaning off a third. So they get it out. That's 2, but the run does score. 1-0 Lake Central. So on the wild pitch, Wrenchen comes in to score, and then Van Vossen gets nailed 2-5 for the second out of the inning.
And give a huge assist there to Caitlin Goodwin, who very wisely, that throw back to the pitcher oftentimes does get away. And it did get away, and you're going to see a Goodwin come in here and just be at the right place at the right time.
So runner at second base, 2 down. But the Indians are on the board. And this one lifted foul. For what it's worth, that run will be unearned because of the error at second base. But if Pendleton Heights get out of this with 1 run, you feel pretty good about it.
Absolutely.
Kalinsky sprays that one foul.
Kalinsky just trying to get something over the infield here. 2 outs, so Adams will be running on contact. Actually running on the swing. I mean, unless it's hit to the left side. She moves the bat, just go ahead and start taking a couple hops.
The 1-2. Sails high. By the way, over on field 2, they're down to the top of the third, but Center Grove a 7-0 lead on Chesterton. So it certainly appears that Center Grove will be one half of our championship game coming up at 6 o'clock. That misses high, and the count runs full. Looking ahead for the Arabians, 8-9-1 to up in the home half of the third.
Again, Adams now not moving on the pitch, but moving on a swing. If you see a swing, go ahead and start taking a couple hops.
Ball 4. Now, runner kind of got caught in the middle, but Adams gave herself enough time to get back to the bag. So first walk issued in today's game. And an infield single, fielder's choice and an error. Intentional bases on ball, wild pitch, base on ball is how we have got to this point. Here comes Schaefer. Hit a line to the second baseman her last time up. Look a mighty swing at that outside corner offering and missed.
Good long look at it, but just waited too long. The glove was, or the ball was already in the catcher's glove before she got her bat into the hitting area.
Schaefer has 8 runs batted in already this season. Chance for more here, but Messer has found something she likes against the left-hander. She's got her an 0-2 predicament.
Swinging just a little bit late again. 2 strikes, you're going to protect it anyway, but choke up a little bit. Try to make the bat a little quicker.
Good look at the Marine Trust on the sideline for Pendleton Heights. Stay alive swing and a good one. Sprays that one foul. We'll do it again at 0-2. By the way, our schedule following this game, pool play is done with these games here at 2 o'clock. The 2 third-place teams will play on Field 2. The 2 second-place teams on Field 1. We will not showcase that game. And the lone game at 6 will be the title tilt. And we'll have that one for you on 9-Star and ISC. Turned on this one. Right fielder looks up. This one is gone. Schaefer, the 2-run blast. 3-run blast, 4-0 Lake Central.
Well, just absolutely got all of that one, Greg, and you could hear it off the bat. And right fielder did go back on it, Lily Koffel, just in case maybe the wind kind of blowing from that direction would have held it up, but it did not, and the ball just gets over the right field fence.
You know, the difference, like we said moments ago, if Pendleton's got this with 1, they feel good about it. Well, not the case anymore. Lake Central now has homered in both games so far today. For Schaefer, that is her first home run of the season. But again, those are RBI, 9, 10, and 11. And now this game takes on an entirely different tenor with Lake Central staked to a 4-0 lead.
Yeah, and remember again, if you look at that flag, it's blowing still kind of in from right.
She fought the wind on that one, too.
That ball may have ended up at Shenandoah High School if it hadn't been for the win.
That was a no-doubter by Schaefer, who is just a sophomore. Here's Heineke, struck out last time. Just the second hit for Lake Central, but obviously a timely one. They have been tearing the cover off the ball all season long and played a 1-1 tie with Penn, but since that time they have been scoring runs in the bunches, and that has continued here in inning number 3. Lifted, second baseman should have an easy play. She does, and the inning is over, but the damage most certainly done. So we'll go to the bottom half of the 3rd inning, but now Pendleton Heights has some work to do as they trail 4-0.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know if John and Max have any replays loaded up or not, but yeah, just if you're Pendleton here, you want to try to get one of these back, maybe 2. You don't have to get all 4 of them back, but you see the coaching staff over there just talking to the pitchers and talking to Shelby Messer, Coach Davis there. But I think it's going to be the home run. But again, this ball was hit into a fairly good wind, and again, you'll see it just kind of gets over the fence a little bit. If it doesn't go over with the wind, it probably goes over that dugout out there.
Look ahead to our upcoming schedule this week on 9-Star and ISC. On Tuesday, Jim and I will have our first baseball game of the spring here for our friends at 9-Star. And HHC play Yorktown will visit New Pal coming up on Tuesday night. Then on Friday, we'll see Ed Markham's team for the first time this year as the New Pal Dragons in softball play host to the Carmel Greyhounds. That's at 6 o'clock on Friday as well. We're going to see Carmel playing here at Legends Field in a couple of weeks as well. Here's Kylie Fisher, the second baseman. Kylie got 1 at bat in the morning game and struck out against Mackenzie Mattern of Jennings County. He threw a complete game shutout in the morning session. Jennings County just kind of hanging out down the right field line and watching this game as we speak. That's in for a strike. Counted 0-2. If this score holds, they'll play on this field in the battle of the second-place teams in the pool. Coming up at 4. As of now, that would look to be Decatur Central. Swing and a miss. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. And there's one away. So Calderero with a strikeout, her second. Here comes Avery Miller. Miller batted second in the last game. Struck out twice and hit into a fielder's choice. Miller batting .364, the freshman, and Calderero has now found the rhythm on the changeup as got Miller to wave at that one going by.
That can be just an absolutely devastating pitch. If you can develop a good fastball, throw it, with command, and then come back with the same arm action and throw a changeup, man, it's just hard. Again, we talked about earlier, hitting is all timing, and good pitching is disrupting that timing.
So 0-2. Nothing but sunshine on this day. That's the forecast for the next week. The 0-2. Hop to home plate. As always, I want to thank the good folks at Pendleton Heights for having us out today. Chad Smith, Adam Ritz, and the rest of the tremendous staff. There's a reason why we're here a lot in April and May.
Well, and again, I'm sure if you asked them to, they could name you 6 or 8 people that also assist. And
of course,
I was an athletic director at a very small school for a year, and
we tried to advise you against that.
Yeah, I know you did. But I tried to do it. I didn't have a lot of help. I had to do it all by myself, and that was at a small school. Again, I can't imagine how many people it takes to run this, but they'll tell you all those folks are invaluable.
Good discipline shown by the number 9 hitter as that one tails away.
Especially when you have 2 or 3 events going on at once. I mean, you need ticket takers, you need game managers, you need someone to be on site to represent basically the school district in case there's an issue with a fan. It takes a lot of people to put these games on.
Count now 3-2. And this is where I'll point out a stat that my partner said earlier. Colorado has walked one batter so far this year. That is against 25 strikeouts, by the way. So I'm pretty sure that's a 25-1 strikeout to walk ratio.
Well, I was told there'd be no math.
Which is why I'm here. I can do those things.
Okay.
Ball 4, so that ratio's got sliced in half. Second walk she has given to the course of the season. That's 12.5-1, by the way.
Okay.
So with that, Miller is down to first base.
Well, and all, I say it a lot, get the 9-hole on, right? I mean,
Yep.
if you can get some production out of anything out of 7, 8, and 9.
And frankly, that's what Coffey did Koffel did in the last game.
Correct.
So here's Hubble. Hubble, a liner back to the pitcher. Lifted. Center field. Adams has a beat on that and missed it. Just lost it in the sun. Now, the lead runner had to go back to first because you thought, hey, she's going to catch that. So runners at first and second, but the error on the center fielder.
I think they may. Did she run past her? They're going to get together, and they're going to say that the runner was going back to first.
It is
past
possible.
the runner.
And if that's the case, that's an out.
She's an out, yeah.
Yep.
Well, we'll see it here. We have the benefit of the replay. You're not allowed to pass a runner, so you got
just lost that in the high sky.
And we may have a better angle, obviously, of the bases. I think out of the corner of my eye, it looked like she passed her.
So she did, and there's an out. Yep. And so, great. Here, we'll see it right here. Great job by our camera.
Watch this right there.
And, yep, can't do that.
Nope.
And it's the runner that passes the lead runner who is out.
Right.
And Rob Davis is being explained to her on the, as to what the infraction is.
Yeah. Now, these are always, again, can be a little confusing, and it just doesn't happen very often.
Right.
And so when it does get called, people are like, well, no, wait a minute, which one's out then? And how do you score that? And because it's clearly something that doesn't happen a lot.
But great job by our camera crew.
Yeah. I really thought we'd have that because, we got great angles here. And, the one that was focusing on the ball in center field was not the best angle, but I knew we'd find one eventually. And honestly, in my opinion, this is going on way too long. I mean, this is pretty simple. It wasn't even close. Little boring trivia for you, but Hank Aaron ended up with 755 home runs because one of them was disallowed when he passed a runner at first base.
My goodness.
Yeah. Apparently the runner at first base was kind of standing there admiring the majestic flight of the ball when Hammer and Hank ran right past him.
So the conversation has come to an end. And I think there was no argument there in terms of, hey, what the call was, a matter of how it gets adjudicated.
Right.
But that has been taken care of. And 2 down. Runner does stay in scoring position the way this works
Right.
out.
Now, again, speaking of scoring, and Hubble is out.
I literally have just put E8 and then a 2 in a circle.
Okay.
So Koffel to the plate. Koffel, a ground ball to the second baseman her last time up. And that's in for a strike.
It is a runner in scoring position if you can get a knock here.
Foul back in the count to 0-2.
I talked about it between the innings. I mean, you may not be able to get them all back, but, man, if you can get one back, two would be fantastic. This is a pretty big at-bat, really, for Lily Koffel.
Colorado has given up just one earned run so far this year. Trying to keep that stellar ERA going here early in the season. Just off the corner. Missed it by a fraction of an inch. Count it 1-2. Again. Nope, got it. Flew that corner on back-to-back pitches. Got it the second time around, and that is the end of the inning. So a lot happened for Pendleton Heights, but not enough of it to produce a run, and we are through 3 here at Legends Field. The Arabians trail the Indians of Lake Central 4-0 in the Horseshoe Classic on 9 Star at ISC.
3, 2, 1.
Has the first dunk in the building for Marin Joya. Waits, Waddell finishes. And lays it in. There is right now the play of the game. Better finish. We might see that on plays of the week. Great speed. The finish. Spin, win, 3. Bury it in the lane. No, gun, yes. Stop. Whoa, what a play. Flying in.
Welcome back. You see me waving through the window or not, but that's our view behind home plate. Greg Rakestraw and Jim Leisure with you here on 9 Star and ISC. And Rob Brown will join up for the 6 o'clock game this evening. I have other work responsibilities, unfortunately, that take me away from this little slice of heaven in southern Madison County. Well, hang on a second. Let me let you tell your story as I unmute your microphone.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I didn't know how long you're going to be gone.
Well, I had to run back and get a little Kleenex here, but I have nothing to do, Greg, and I've got all day to do it.
Well, you are a retired law enforcement official.
Absolutely.
So you've earned some free time.
Well, thank you. I should have thought of this retirement thing 35 years ago, though. This really works.
But you're only eligible for it 5
well,
years ago.
Well, of course. Well, I kind of wanted the easy way out.
Easy Portenga, right fielder. She was first pitch swinging last time and smacked one of the shortstop in Shelton. She'll see a second pitch this time around as Messer's offering goes by for a ball. Portenga on the season. 5 for 13, and that one is going to be a base hit.
A little bit of confusion there between the pitcher and the third baseman as to who was going to field it. Wouldn't have mattered.
Correct. It was a perfectly placed spot for the lefty.
I guess in retrospect, you might want the third baseman here to come across with her momentum coming toward first. The pitcher there going away, going toward the third base line. Yeah. It wouldn't matter.
I'll tell you what, I think you make a good point, though, is now they're going to try to bunt again, and that's a foul ball from Kalinsky. And when you're the pitcher, you really don't have the time, right, unless the third baseman is yelling at you, mine, and then try to peel back.
Yeah.
No, if Miller gets that, maybe she's got to play it first.
Right. She has a play. I don't know. But yeah, that's where the third baseman's got to be coming down, like you said, me. And then peel away. And
count goes to 1-1. Kalinsky, ground ball to the third baseman her last time up. And Izzy, the catcher, McKenzie, the left fielder of the Kalinskys playing for Lake Central today.
2 Izzies in the lineup. As like you said, 2 Kalinskys as well. But
bunt put down, and now the third baseman. See, learns. That's great. That's a freshman, too. That's really smart play. She steps up, cuts the pitcher off to make the play, and there's one down.
Yeah, and again, just good fundamental softball, too. You're going to see the catcher. Again, whoever between the third base, the pitcher, and the catcher who does not get this needs to hustle up the third base line and cover third. And you saw Sydney Clark do that very, very nicely.
So here's Wrenchen. Infield single and would come around to score in the last inning for Lake Central. Ball got away from the pitcher and good heads-up base running. Secondary lead by Portenga, and on the pass ball, she scampers on down to third.
Yeah, we say this every now and then. We get an opportunity to kind of explain basically that good secondary lead, that bound off the bag, hop, and then when you see the ball kind of tailing away from the catcher, you take another hop. Because even if the catcher catches it, they're going to be off balance. She'll have time to get back. But if they miss it, you're going.
Little safety squeeze, and first baseman clobbered the pitcher. They're going to try to maybe get in a rundown. They got to watch the runner at third.
It's almost as if Lake Central wants to
exactly what they want to do.
Yep.
Now here comes the runner towards home. Tag applied. Safe. It's exactly what Lake Central wanted to have happen. They'll ask for time, and they'll get it here.
Yeah, you got to go out and at least find out if the pitcher's okay, or the first baseman, either one. There was Messers out there kind of wiping her lip. I don't know if she does wear that mask, and that thing may, on the collision, kind of got up there. And
so it's going to be ruled as an error on the first baseman. And then getting in the rundown, Wrenchen advances to second. Throw home, not in time to get Portenga. Make it 5-0, and now let's check on Shelby Messer.
Yeah, and really the home plate umpire almost insisted that Coach Davis do it. And I mean, I think he was trying to say, look, she said she's all right, let's play. But home plate umpire being, you see this rundown. Wrenchen, of course, in no hurry at all. Really.
Right.
She could have got back to first if she wanted to.
Her job was to
draw
a throw.
Yeah.
And once she did that.
And again, great camera work there on that plate to plate.
And the trainer has been called.
It did look to me, again, like Shelby Messer was kind of maybe, I don't know, I guess a bloody lip for lack of a. She's still kind of holding her jaw there a little bit.
So Finley is the only other pitcher we have seen this year for Pendleton Heights, and you wonder if she may have to be brought in here after that collision.
And if she does, of course, she'll be given ample time to warm up because she has not been warming up. I don't know Shelby Messer, but I suspect she's a competitor. She probably wants to continue. Whether or not they're going to allow her to is a different thing.
You've got a trainer on duty, and you've got 3 different fields to cover.
Yeah.
With what's going on here at Pendleton Heights today, and that was why there was kind of a signal to left field saying, hey, we need.
I believe the JV baseball game going on is over. We obviously have the other softball field.
By the way, score update on that Center Grove Chesterton game. They're already at the bottom of the 4th in that one. Center Grove enjoying a 7-0 lead against Chesterton. I'm going to give just a once-over on Shelby to make sure she is okay. And she's kind of pointing to the left side of her jaw and saying that's where the issue is. So hopefully Messer will be given the thumbs up to continue on here in a matter of moments.
Now Pendleton does have someone up down in the bullpen. And it's Ashland. Oh, no, that's Center Grove's roster. Got to get the correct roster here. It is Ari Rector, number 5.
Again, this is just game 5 for the Arabians. They've only had to go 2 pitchers deep so far on the season.
Rector is listed as a pitcher outfielder.
They're going to check Goodwin while they're out there as well. It looks like everybody's going to be allowed to continue on.
Yeah, honestly, to be honest, for a long time now, the ladies have been out there kind of smiling and kind of, laughing and saying, man, that was kind of a goofy play. And so I'm going to guess everyone's okay. Now, again, Messer's going to throw a couple, and if she finds herself maybe getting dizzy or something, then they'll take her out. But
And she says, I'm fine.
Only needs one.
So Van Bossen, the freshman, will be due up. She had a ground ball to the shortstop that turned into an error in her previous plate appearance. And then she was picked off at third base, was the freshman. But this is now a Lake Central offense that, true to their early season form, they have scored 18 runs in 9 innings played so far today. Oh, Center Grove now leading 9-0 against Chesterton, as that game is barreling towards the run rule, potentially in the top of the 5th. So strike call. Pitcher and Calderero awaits on deck. That misses off the corner. 1-1 the count.
Outfield shifted actually to the left field line against the left-handed hitter.
Late decision to swing. Ground ball to the second baseman. Fires over to first. Gets the out. Throw back to keep the runner honest. That is out number 2. Runner at third.
Yeah, you mentioned it. She kind of really did a nice job of keeping her hands back. She had a little bit of stride, a little bit of body weight going forward, but kept the hands back and was able to just slap at it. Off-speed pitch, recognized it, stayed back, wasn't able to hit it hard. So nice pitch by the pitcher, but
popped up. Again, it is a high sky. It's not a guarantee, but the catch is made. Good job by Fisher to field her position, and the damage is limited to 1 run allowed. So we are halfway through this one, 5-0 Lake Central in front. So we go to the bottom half of the 4th inning.
Pendleton with 3, 4, and 5. Clark, Goodwin, Shelton up. Due up.
5 runs, 3 hits, and 1 error so far for Lake Central. No runs, no hits, 2 errors for the Arabians. By the way, Center Grove has gotten it to 10 now, so they may be in line for their second run rule victory of the day. Calderero made the last out, so we'll have a minute or two before she likely rifles off 1 warm-up pitch. That's good enough for me. I always get a kick in the years when I get to do the softball state finals on TV. I have to tell the players, wait.
Yeah.
They used to take 30 to 45
right.
seconds in between innings. I'm like, guys, we're gone for 90 seconds.
Exactly.
Cool your jets. You're going to be just fine.
Yeah, got to sell some soap and.
Well, it's usually actually cars and careers and construction. And
it's an old saying.
I've got them memorized at this point, believe me.
Yeah, I don't know where I heard that for years. People say, got to sell the soap. Somebody's got to sell the soap.
Should I leak the word as to when the pairing show is going to be for softball since I know?
Ooh, I don't know. Is there an IHSAA? Are they going to be upset with you if you do?
That's a good call. Let me keep that under my hat.
All right,
for
fair
now.
enough.
I got that knowledge. I got the, hey, are you available on this date? I got that email earlier this week.
Right. Well, again, I got, Mr. Knighting and several folks here at 92nd Meridian are probably seldom if ever pleased with me. I try not to do anything to intentionally arouse them.
It's in for a strike. 3, 4, and 5 coming up this time through. I have a hard time believing Paul Knighting has an issue with you.
Oh, he does not. I just always, whenever I'm fortunate enough to be chosen to do like a baseball state final or a football state final, I always put on my Twitter, against their better judgment, they have decided to retain me.
So Clark, Goodwin, Shelton, power brokers in the lineup for Pendleton Heights. Clark was hit by a pitch in her previous plate appearance. She is one of the 3 base runners that have been aboard so far for the Arabians. Again, none of them by way of a hit, and one of those base runners passed the other one on the base pass,
right.
since they really have only had 2. kind of during the run of play, for lack of a better term.
Heath Shanahan, another great guy at the IHSAA. Got to kind of stay on Heath's good side as well.
3-1 the count. Has been one walk for Calderaro today.
One walk and one hit by pitch.
Ball four. So the leadoff runner is aboard for the first time today. Now here's Goodwin coming to the plate.
And the second time for Clark, as she was the victim of that hit by pitch in the first inning. So 2 for 2 on the old on-base percentage.
This Lake Central team doing their best to play as many Indianapolis area teams when the schedule allows. So Lake Central has games coming up with Westfield, Noblesville, Carmel, Avon remaining on their schedule.
Got a foul ball from the other field on the field here, so quick timeout.
Those games against Noblesville, Carmel, and Avon all coming up in a tournament at Carmel.
I was going to ask
in
you
2 weeks.
Yeah, I was going to ask you whether that was over a weekend where they could come down and just kind of hit all three.
Popped up. Second baseman coming in. Calderaro's got it. Literally on top of the pitching rubber. One away. Westfield's actually going to make the trip up to go play at Lake Central next Saturday.
Well, speaking of the IHSAA, you're allowed so many regular season games, as you see this little relatively easy play. So many tournaments, and so you want to try to pick tournaments where you get to play 3 games. Maximize the amount of games that you can play.
Shelton swinging. And sprays that one foul. Shelton a strikeout victim her last time up.
And it's been a minute since I was an AD, but I believe you get one tournament, basically, that does not count against your, let's say it's 22.
Right.
And then the second and third tournaments do. You can play up to 3 tournaments. The second and third tournaments
count
do
as regular season games.
Yes, they count against your 22.
Yep. 1-1 the count. Yeah, I was proficient doing that schedule math in terms of the Ben Davis boys basketball team, and they got to 33 games this year, which is more than the team has played in some time.
Yes, correct.
Had to go, here's the math as to how this is done.
Yes. You get one freebie, so hopefully your freebie is a 3-gamer, or maybe even in basketball a 4-gamer. And then the rest of them count against you.
Shelton turns on this one, hammers it, but it is well foul. And the count is 1-2.
And then many teams in, baseball, basketball, baseball, for whatever reason will choose not to play any tournaments. They'll just play that allotted schedule of regular season games.
Off-speed pitch. Good job by Shelton to watch that one go by. You can tell from that last swing. And her 2 hits so far this year have both been ones that have left the building.
Yeah, really good bat speed. It's just a matter now of just seeing it and hitting it. Outfield shifted slightly to left field.
Pop that one straight back. The Arabians looking for their first run of the day after being blanked by Jennings County. And that was not a problem the first 3 games they played this year. Put up double digits against Westfield, 6 against Center Grove, 4 against Shenandoah in Tuesday's non-conference victory. This one, left field, flies away. Make it 3 home runs for Shelton this year. Pendleton Heights is on the board. They now trail at 5-2.
Well, we talked about that bat speed, Greg, and just great job of just unloading on this thing and squared it up on the barrel. You're going to see it right there. Great bat speed, great bat path.
So the first hit of the day for Pendleton Heights turns into a 2-run shot. There'll be a meeting in the circle here. Manager's not going to be taking the ball here. This is just a quick conversation. So how about that stat? First 2 weeks of the season, first 3 hits have all been of the home run variety for Shelton.
Well, and like most hitters, they tend to heat up and get a little bit hotter as the season progresses. So kind of bad news for maybe perhaps the rest of the HHC.
And Shelton's going to play at the Division III level next year. For Calderaro, that is just the second and third earned run she has allowed this year. And with that, there's going to be a little activity in the bullpen. Melanie Sikora is going to start to loosen. Sikora pitched the last couple of innings and gave up a run against Jennings County. That story, though, was a double-digit run cushion. That is not the case here. That 2-run blast just kept this one interesting. So Humboldt now to the plate.
I had Calderaro with 1 home run given up coming into the tournament.
I believe that would be the run she had allowed so far this year, at least of the earned variety.
Yeah, must have been. Humboldt had a nice cut at that one, frankly. I mean, she just missed it.
Humboldt fly ball to left fielder last time up. Tattoos this one. Adams at the wall. Back-to-back blasts. Pendleton Heights is right back in it. It's 5-3 here in the home half of the fourth.
Well, you know, the previous at bat, I mean, the previous swing, she just missed it. She had a great swing on it. And unfortunately for Calderaro, she decided, you know what, I'm going to go to the same spot, see if I can't have a little success. And that ball was absolutely tattooed as well.
The ball tends to travel well in this park.
It just does.
Even with the wind blowing in today. So the third home run of this game.
Yeah, I have referred to this place as the launching pad, which was the nickname of the former Fulton County Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia.
Amazingly, Jim, that was 2 stadiums ago for the Braves.
Yeah, it was, yeah. But
I know it well.
But the ball tended to get out of there quickly, and it tends to get out of here quickly, too. Was also the site of Hank Aaron's 715th home run, breaking Babe Ruth's long-standing record.
Richardson, fly ball to left field last time up. Well, those struggles to score runs seemingly have gone by the wayside for the Arabians.
You knew it was just a matter of time. I mean, they've always been a good hitting ball club. And
fastball inside, corner strike 2. Well, again, there's a lot to play for in terms of if Pendleton Heights can find a way back in it, they've got a chance to play in the championship game. This one could drop, and it will. Left fielder had to play back, given the kind of the last 2 swings, and so Richardson, perfectly placed pop-up. Hits are coming in bunches now. 3 in a row after not having one in their first 13 batters to the plate.
Left fielder Mackenzie Kalinsky does a nice job of getting this ball in quickly, keeping the runner from going to second base. You're going to see a nice swipe tag, too, as well, even though there was no runner.
Alana Smith will come in here and bat. This is in Fisher's spot in the lineup. So we saw Smith get 1 at bat and struck out looking in the morning game. She is 3 for 7 at the plate so far this year with 4 runs scored. And she represents the tying run. So last 3 runners have all reached. Little hot. Misses. 2-0.
Checking there to the stats to see whether or not Smith had a long ball. She does not so far this season.
By the way, the other game has gone final. Center Grove beat Chesterton 12-0 in 5 innings. So Center Grove will be in the championship game at 6 o'clock that we'll have for you here on 9 Star and ISC. Given the last couple of swings by Pendleton Heights, whom they are playing is now a little more suddenly up for grabs. By the way, Decatur Central will finish second in that pool. Chesterton will finish third. Those two teams will turn around and play coming up here at 4 o'clock against a couple of yet-to-be-determined opponents. Popped up. Shortstop calls everybody off and makes the play. That's Schaefer. 2 down. So this is Miller's spot, and Miller worked a walk her last time up.
And assuming that Avery can get on somehow, some way, again, you got top of the order coming up with a runner in scoring position.
Popped him up. Third baseman drifting over and runs out of real estate. And again, that's probably the first real ball we've seen affected by the wind today, where that thing looked like it was going to be catchable, and all of a sudden, wind kind of pushed it out of play.
Yep, and, again, we've all seen enough baseball and softball that, a hitter gets another life, either, wind aided or what, but another opportunity, and they come through. So we'll see if Avery Miller can do that.
Again, pops it up.
Yeah, that one's a no-doubter.
So the next game over on field 2 is kind of in a holding pattern until this game determines what happens next.
And were Pendleton to get the win here, I think I overheard you and perhaps the athletic director talking about it. The tiebreaker ends up being
runs allowed.
Yeah, least runs allowed. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because the teams would have gone 1-1 in this pool. So we'll start counting fingers and toes in our next time out and see where we are.
Well, and again, assuming Pendleton does get the W here, then they only gave up 1 run in that game against, and then Lake Central actually had an 11-0 lead, went to a different pitcher, gave up a couple.
This one turned by Miller.
Or what was the final of that one? Just
13-1.
Okay, I thought they gave up 2. So, okay, that'd be a push.
Just happy the weather's allowing us to play this tournament unimpeded. That one misses off the corner. They do throw back behind the runner. Richardson is back in plenty of time.
No, today, and then like we've alluded to a couple different times, as Coach Davis goes through the signals, but the following week should be fantastic for baseball and softball.
Pops her up. Park will hold this one. Again, the wind will push it. And Schaefer got out of the way. But they will throw to second and try to get the runner behind the plate. It was not a force. And I'm not sure if the shortstop just lost it or thought the left fielder was going to get it.
I think it was a little bit of both. I think she was battling the sun a little bit. I think it's clearly her ball. It goes back again, Greg, to communication. Did anybody say anything? And as a coach, you got to ask these girls later, what were you saying? Anything? If you're saying me, then come get it. And if you crash into shortstop, I'll yell at her.
So Hubble will become the 8th batter to bat this inning. That, because it wasn't touched, that is recorded as a base hit. Hubble asks for time. Hubble hit a fly ball to Adams that she couldn't find in the sun. Smacked one back to the pitcher. And Hubble a double in the morning game. And smacks this one through for a base hit. They're going to send the runner around third. Adams' throw will be cut off. It's going to be a tie game. Throw to second base. Not in time. Tied at 5.
Just an excellent job all the way around, Greg. You got 2 outs, ball's on the ground. It's behind you. You're taking off on contact. You're going to score. Great job of hitting, finds the gap, and then realizes that, when the throw goes away, hustles down to second base and just does a nice slide where she slides away to the center field side of the bag. Safe.
Pitching change coming in here. So 8 batters to the plate. Number 9 in Koffel is about to happen. And so with that, the pitching change is going to take place in this contest. So the new pitcher is going to be Sikora. So Sikora will make her 3rd appearance of the season. She has thrown 7 innings. She's given up 1 run. She has struck out 7. She has not walked a batter. Lake Central appeared to be cruising at 5-0, and all of a sudden the bats came alive for Pendleton Heights.
And I'm going to be honest with you, Greg. I was starting to wonder if we were going to see a run rule deal here, and now just totally flipped the script here. Again, that last play was just, there was so much going on so much going on right. From the hit, nice job of just seeing the pitch, driving it in the hole. The base runner realizing that the ball, A, was on the ground, B, there's 2 outs, C, it's in the outfield, I'm scoring, and then to realize that the throw goes through. I'm taking second base. Well, again, it doesn't end there. She executes a perfectly fundamental slide of going to the north side of the bag or the center field side of the bag, making the tag a little more difficult. Good hustle by the umpire, too, to be honest with you.
And for Calderero, unfortunately for her, again, the first 3 runs, you go, hey, that's on you.
Yeah.
You had a couple of home runs.
Yeah.
The last 2 runs, you probably should have been out of the inning on that pop-up that was hit by Miller.
Right.
And unfortunately, whether it's the wind, the sun, players not communicating properly with each other, that drops, which allows Hubble, who's going to play at Bradley, she's a Division I level player,
Sure,
to deliver in that scenario. So this is Kelsey Day hitting in Koffel's spot in the lineup. Koffel 0 for 2. This is the first time we have seen Kelsey in either game today. She is a junior. So Coach Davis has not been shy about using his pinch hitters in either game.
I would have to go back and look. I think she may have played against Shenandoah. I remember.
And she played in all the first 3 games. She is 0 for 3 on the season, is Day.
I do remember the name, and I remember the number because that happened to be my high school number, and I always have a fondness in my heart for number 19s. Either team, both teams.
So the count at 1-1. Sikora certainly bring a little more oomph behind those pitches.
Yeah, works a little faster, too. Just, you saw each time how Calderaro would have to check the wristband and basically work slow. This young lady just grips it and rips it.
No one sailed out of the zone, 2-2 the count. So Hubble now represents the go-ahead run at second base.
And everything, again, is the same. I mean, there's 2 outs, so you're moving on contact. If it's the only place you don't really move is if it's hit to the left side. Everything else, you're flying.
Day hammers this one. Left field. That goes big fly. Her first hit of the season is a 2-run blast. 3rd home run of the inning. 7-5 Pendleton Heights.
Well, Greg, I had mentioned not that long ago that the difference in this Pendleton team this year that from last year was the lack of power. I hadn't seen any long balls. I should have said that 3 games ago. Apparently, Coach Davis would have about 500 runs there. Nice job of just staying back on the pitch, getting the hips, firing everything at the same time, and just crushed.
So Sydney Clark will come to the plate. 10th batter to hit this inning. She began everything with a walk. She would score on Shelton's home run. How about that? A pinch hit home run by Day, a junior who had not had a base hit all year.
She certainly got all of that. That sounded good.
Pop up first baseman, diving effort, got it. What a play. That's Heineke, the diving effort to end the inning. But 10 batters come to the plate, 7 score, and 3 home run shots by Pendleton Heights end the 4th inning. Through 4, our score is the Arabians now 7, the Indians 5, as you're watching on 9 Star and the ISC Sports Network.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 160,000 participants here in Indiana who take part in high school sports.
Welcome back. Greg Rakestraw, Jim Leisure with you here on 9 Star on the ISC Sports Network. All of a sudden, things have changed. The Arabians explode at the plate after they had not scored in the first 10 innings of play today. 3 home runs, 7 runs total. Chase, a pitcher who had an ERA under .4. And that's with the wind blowing in today here in Pendleton. And all of a sudden now, there is an opportunity for them to potentially play in the championship game against Center Grove and see them for a second time in 8 days.
You know, Greg, this is an example here. This is a great explanation of how coaching ruined me as a fan. I can no longer watch my favorite teams anymore and get excited because then I always think like a coach. Coach Davis thinking, man, we just put 7 on these guys. We are rocking and rolling. Uh-oh. Here comes Jolie Adams. Time to get back to work. Hey, Shelby, focus. I mean, you know, you just can't you can't celebrate anything until it's over.
Adams was intentionally walked last time and would score on the Taylor Schaefer home run in the 3rd. She flew out to right field the time before that. And Messer's pitch blowing away.
Shelby probably, again, not in a huge hurry to leave anything out over the plate. The first time she did bat, she hit a rocket to right field.
Grazes the outside corner. Strike call.
If you can stay there, and again, you know, big if, but it's that type of command that separates the good ones from the great ones. But if you can stay there. That's a good pitch, and it's a difficult pitch to hit.
Ground ball, smack diving effort, second baseman throws and got her. What a play. That is Alana Smith, who stayed in the game to play second. So literally that's her first defensive chance of the game, and that's the play that she makes.
And what a great job, again, just totally selling out, just got to stop it, right? Got to keep it in the infield, and then from her knees, throws a nice play, good call, good dig over there at first base by Goodwin, the whole thing.
So now Kalinsky walked and scored last time up. Strikeout victim back in the 1st. And this one sprayed foul. Well, this is one of those, if this holds for Pendleton Heights, this is one that kind of, you know, sparks you maybe for a while, a caliber of victory like this one.
No doubt about it. I mean, the momentum that you can build off of this, because, again, as a coach later on in the season, when you're facing a foe or maybe you're struggling, you can say, hey, ladies, we've been here before. This is nothing.
This is a really good team. Again, it's early in the season, so you're
Right.
still learning, but Lake Central is a perennial top 10 team in the state.
Eliza Finley warming up down in that bullpen. She may be brought in to pitch 1 inning. Maybe 2.
Popped up. Shortstop's got it. That's Shelton. 2 down. Now this group, 1, 2, 3, was recorded as outs 1, 2, 3 back in the 1st inning. Last time, they would all score when Taylor Schaefer hit one past the right field wall. And it is Schaefer who is at the dish as we speak.
So you got to be careful with her, obviously.
Schaefer's home run was the first of her season. And she now has 11 runs batted in. And this is the 6th game of the year for Lake Central. Tried to time that one out, but ropes it foul. Count it 1-1. And after this one, there are 3 more games to play. Those are the placement games in this tournament. The 5th place game, the 3rd place game, and then the championship game. Off speed. Good job of laying off that one by Schaefer. Swing and a miss. 2-2.
Really just kind of blew that past her there. I don't know if she just reached back and found a little something extra, or Schaefer was just not ready for that pitch.
What are you throwing here, 2-2, Coach?
I'm staying on the outside corner. I still think she's a dangerous hitter.
Did that clip her? Yeah, I got her.
Yep, okay. That was one of those, the umpire heard it.
Yep. Take a look. We'll get a second look at it here.
I mean, it did look like the ball went down right as it was crossing her
elbow. And she reacted immediately.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. As the ball approached that elbow, it then suddenly went down. So unless it just had absolutely nasty movement on it, then yes, it probably hit her.
Here's Heineke, who is 0 for 2 today. Smacks this one off the end of the bat. That'll drop for a base hit. The runners at first and second. And now the tying run is at first base. Izzy Portenga will step to the dish. 4th hit of the day for Lake Central. So a potential 2-out rally here coming for the Indians.
Portenga with one of those hits for Lake Central today.
Single and scored last time and fouls that back towards us.
I didn't see it because anytime the ball comes up here, I hide under the table.
Also not true. Just like Legends Field being named after me. You got to go back and watch Tuesday's game to get that joke, by the way.
Yeah. In comedy, we call that a callback.
1-1 the count. You know, I have worked as a stand-up comedian before.
Have you really?
Yes, I have. I wasn't paid, but I have worked twice.
Yeah, I thought about it, but, man, it sounds like a lot of work.
It's not. 1-1 the count.
I'd be more like a sit-down comedian.
Fair enough.
You know, if they could just let me.
You can do more of a monologue. That's fair. You can sit there on that stool. No problem. 2-1 is that one misses low.
I wouldn't want a stool. I'd want like a lazy boy, you know, kind of.
They may not give you that.
They'd probably cuss, wouldn't they? But at this stage in my retired life, Greg, I only do things that I want to do. If I don't want to do it, I ain't doing it.
Outfield shading to the left for the left-handed batter. Sends this one left field. Richardson is there. It's what she has done all season long for Pendleton Heights. Makes another solid defensive play, and that is the end of the inning. So runner stranded on first and second. And we go to the home half of the 5th, and the song remains the same. 7-5 in favor of the Arabians.
Trying to get everything added up here. Let's see, 1 hit and hit by pitch.
Correct. So Goodwin, Shelton, Humble, the trio of players due up this time through for Pendleton Heights. Sikora going to be on for her first full inning of work as she replaced Calderero in the last inning. And she gave up the 3rd home run. That was on to the pinch hitter in Day, which right now that stands as the winning run in today's game.
We'll see if Pendleton can basically continue to build upon this sudden offensive momentum. It's a little bit more of, like I said, a Pendleton team that we're used to seeing in terms of power and the ability to score runs.
It looks like they're going to have a new catcher in the game here for Lake Central, that Renshin will move from third to behind home plate. And then 15, Cassidy Sullivan will be the third baseman. So Sullivan will enter. That is in Izzy Kalinsky's spot in the lineup. And Kalinsky would be due up then next inning for Lake Central. Would it be Sullivan would be due up in Kalinsky's spot. So that's Wrenchen that was at third base that is now behind the dish. And Wrenchen is listed as both a catcher and infielder on this roster. And that may just simply be she's used to catching Shakur or something.
Yeah,
along
I
those
wondered
lines.
if that wasn't it.
Or simply, hey, you're going to have to play 3 today. You want to give your catcher a little bit of a breather.
Could be any one of those things, but I was wondering whether it was more of a personal catcher kind of thing.
So here's Goodwin. Goodwin is 0 for 2. Popped up to the pitcher her last time through. Fly ball to right field the time before that. And for a strike. Goodwin now 3 for 14 on the season. Rips this one in. I can't blame the first baseman. Not exactly lining up to get behind that one.
Yeah.
Because that was 60 feet at far more than 60 miles an hour coming right at her.
Yeah.
Line drive base hit.
Sometimes discretion has to be the better part of valor, and yeah.
At some point, your survival instincts kick in.
Yep.
Grace Fisher, freshman, will come in to run for Goodwin. Goodwin, I'm sure, will re-enter in the top of the 6th inning. So here's Shelton. And again, normally it's, all right, you're moving the runner over. That's not exactly what Shelton does. She tends to send them towards the dugout with one swing, as she did in her last plate appearance. She was the first of the 3 crushed offerings in the home half of the 4th.
Kind of broke the ice for Pendleton, really.
Shelton, 3 hits this season. All have left the building. Shelton going to play at Earlham for the Quakers next year. Ground ball, foul ball, 1-1 the count.
Have not been on the Earlham campus in years. They
Beautiful.
Used to have a really nice football coaches clinic there for area high school coaches, and now they don't even have a football.
I was going to say, probably don't have that anymore. They got a great stadium, but they don't have a team. 1-1 the count.
And it's never over. You know, who knows? In a few years, maybe they could, revive it.
Outside corner strike. 1-2 the count. The facility's never been the issue at Earlham.
No, it was always numbers and.
Yep.
Again, a buddy of mine is an official at the college level, and he would always talk about how he'd look over there and they'd only have about 35 kids, and he would wonder how much longer can they do this. Well, the answer
was about 3 or 4 years ago. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually a pre-pandemic move to drop football at Earlham. Count of 2-2.
Jerry Kiesling was the coach there when he used to put that clinic on.
Ground ball. Shelton being aggressive at the plate, as I would be too, given that what the last swing was like for her in the last inning.
That's her game. I mean, it's a power game. It's, max velocity on the bat, and she's not trying to slap something over the shortstop. She's trying to knock down the scoreboard.
Just missed high. That was close. 2-2. Or 3-2.
I guess I got it 3, but
yep. Could be 2. Well, didn't get a good throw, but they did get the lead runner. Again, in softball, it's impossible. I wasn't that, but close to it. You have to have a ball hit towards the bag, as it was there. Good job by Morales to get the lead runner 1 down.
Well, that ball wasn't hit particularly hard, but then it looks to me like the second baseman kind of runs into the shortstop a little bit. Shortstop probably should have just peeled away once she realized that the second baseman was going to take that on her own.
So Morgan Humble with her first home run of the season. In her last plate appearance, she followed up Shelton with a solo blast to make it 5-3. And that misses low. Humble has 3 hits on the day, and she didn't even get the start in the first game.
Boy, I tell you what, though, I guarantee Coach Davis is saying, look what I found here.
Good job by the catcher and Wrenchen to snap that one out of the dirt, allow no further advance.
Did not get a start, but got a couple of hits and decided, I'll give her a start, see what she does. And she hits the ball all over the fence.
And Humble, a junior. Swings over top of that one, 2-1 the count. Ground ball. They'll go to second. They do get the runner there. Throw on to first. It was close, but couldn't get it. It was close. Back-to-back fielder's choices, and the lead runner retired both times, and there's 2 away. We'll get a good look at it here. And I think it was called properly, and replay shows you it absolutely was. So now Addie Nichols will come into bat here. This is in Richardson's spot in the lineup. Nichols 1 for 3 on the season. We saw Addie in the previous game get a base hit or get a chance at bat.
Well, the way it's been going for Pendleton Heights, it's only fitting that she knocks the ball over the fence.
It's in for a strike.
Might have been one you could have probably offered at.
And this is in Richardson's spot in the lineup. You assume she'd go back in the top of the 6th. That misses low. Richardson singled and scored last time up.
Yeah, I think you absolutely put Gloria Richardson back in left field. I mean, she's just too valuable out there.
Well, 7 hits and 7 runs for Pendleton have all come in the last 2 innings. 2-1 the count now.
Richardson defensively, not only does she get a great jump on balls, but she also is fearless. I mean, she's not afraid of the fence. She's not afraid to leave her feet. She is going to go get the softball no matter what it takes.
Misses low and inside. Count of 3-1.
Favorite pitch or nothing? Get your favorite pitch, put a bat on it. Anything less than that, we'll bat 3-2 or take the walk.
And works the walk. It's the first walk issued by Sikora in the now 6 batters she has faced. And Smith will bat for a second time. She came in this spot last inning and popped up to the shortstop.
Coach Davis and the home plate umpire there trying to figure out, okay, who do I got left? Who has not been in? Who can I put in?
They're going to put Rector in to run in Humble's spot. And then they'll also return Richardson in immediately to replace Nichols.
Might as well do it now. Obviously, you were going to do it at the bottom or the top half anyway. So if she has a little better wheels than the other young lady, then it only makes sense to re-enter her now.
So Smith to the plate. She is 3 of 8 on the season. Smith, a junior. If you have been in uniform, you have probably seen action today at this point for the Arabians.
Which is another good reason why this tournament is good for everybody. It gives kids an opportunity to play.
Lines this one left field. They'll give the run of the wave around. That'll score a run. Rector will come in to make it an 8-5 lead for Pendleton Heights.
Richardson does a nice job of not getting too far off second base. She wisely says, you know what, I'm going to stay on this bag and not let them throw behind me and not ruin an RBI situation and a big opportunity here for Avery Miller.
So Miller to the plate. Miller has reached base both times, and she scored last inning. This marks the third trip through the lineup. That's in for a strike, and she is the sixth batter to the plate after the Arabians sent 10 to the batter's box in the fourth.
And you remember, Greg, we saw in that first game, Jennings County Pendleton, where a Jennings County runner just got off the back just enough, and they threw behind her and got her out and really kind of killed her rally. Richardson's like, you know what, I'm going to stand right here, and there's 2 outs, so I'm moving on contact. I got to move everywhere now. I'm forced, so even if it's hit hard to the third baseman, I'm still moving. But if it goes the outfield, I'm scoring.
Swing and a miss. In from 5-0 down to 8-5 in front. Looking ahead, 6, 7, and 8 coming up this time through for Lake Central in the top of the 6th. All of a sudden they're counting outs in this one. That one almost hit the bull. Went to the backstop, wild pitch. And runners at second and third.
Boy, oh boy, how big would a base hit be here, or even if you can just reach and bring the top of the lineup up.
Ground ball, foul ball. Now, if you watched our morning game, you will notice that our camera position for this angle has moved. We moved it a little further left. There is a covered camera position a little bit to the right of center field. That has become the team depot for Decatur Central. They've got their own outfield suite out there watching the action
turned
right
into
now.
the players' lounge out there.
Count now at 2-2. Swing and a miss. Inning is over, but a little more cushion for the Arabians. And we'll go to the top of the 6th. They lead at 8-5, trying to work their way back to the championship game of the Horseshoe Classic here on 9 Star and the ISC Sports Network.
When moving into a new home, we ask ourselves questions like, who is the best internet provider in town? Well, have you considered locally owned 9 Star Connect? We've become the fastest, most reliable, and dedicated fiber-to-the-home internet company in central Indiana. Our internet packages have been modified, and we are changing speeds at a more competitive price. So give us a look. Visit us at 9starconnect.com. 9 Star is a different kind of company, and the difference is you.
We referenced Don Ivy's team enjoying the view from out in center field. And again, if this score holds.
Is that a hot tub? Is there a hot tub in there?
There is not one out there,
okay.
No, sir.
Because it kind of looks like everyone's just sitting
No,
around.
and Donnie tried to install one if he could, but no. And again, the story of this one, if Pendleton Heights wins this game, then the 3 teams in this pool will all be 1-1. And so the tiebreaker would go 2 runs allowed. And right now that tiebreaker would be won by Pendleton Heights. We'll see if it plays out that way with still 2 trips to the plate remaining. So this is Cassidy Sullivan, who came in to replace Izzy Kalinsky. Defensively in the last inning.
If you are looking ahead, and I know as a coach I would be looking ahead, even if Shelby were to go 1-2-3 here, we would still eventually have to face Jolie Adams in the 1 hole in the 7th inning.
Sullivan 2 for 5 on the season. 3 runs scored and an RBI. Sullivan, a junior. And Wrenchen and Van Vossen, the duo, due up next for Lake Central. Lined foul. You've got kind of the other 4 teams kind of hanging around saying, all right, waiting for this one to finish. They know exactly what the schedule is going to be, if this score holds, the way I would read it would be, the 5th place game would be Chesterton and Jennings County. The 3rd place game would be Decatur Central and Lake Central, which would be a rematch of a recent state championship. And Center Grove and Pendleton Heights playing for the title. All complaints, if I got that wrong, go to Jim Leisure. This one off the bat, right field, tailing away and foul. This is a potential triple by about a foot.
And yes, please do. I mean, reach out at Coach Leisure 1 if you're interested. I probably won't read it, but I never get on there. But feel free to complain.
I'm going to say that was news to me that you have a Twitter account.
You know what?
I was unaware of that.
Well, I can't remember why somebody suggested I needed one, and I did it, and I don't know how to do it. I don't know how.
I was going to give out your email address is what I was going to do. That misses 1 and 2 the count.
That I do read.
Let me see the Panthers of Jennings County. And they played at 10 and noon. A 1-0 victory over Pendleton Heights and a 13-1 loss at the hands of Lake Central. And Lake Central was up 5-0 in this one. Going to the bottom of the 4th, and then things changed.
Kind of a unique look over there. The Jennings County players, all of them accomplished softball players in their own right. Foul ball came over there, and they all took off running. Not one of them even made an attempt, and they all ran and hid. Come on, ladies, make a play.
Count at 1 and 2. Just off the corner. 2 and 2. Good job of laying off that one by Sullivan. Messer offers. It almost slipped out of her hand on the way to the plate.
Yep. Had an idea, obviously was going to try to give the hitter, again, change that eye level, that eyesight, and ended up just slipping out of her hand.
And that misses. So Sullivan works a walk. And again, Lake Central just needs to get runners on the base paths here. Renshin will step to the plate. She has reached twice. Singleton scored back in the 3rd, reached on an error by the first baseman in the 4th. That was on the bunt that was popped up that Goodwin clattered into Messer, which eventually led to what is now the 5th and last run for Lake Central. Slapper, fair ball. 3rd baseman knocks it down, fires over to first, not in time. And the tying run now will come to the plate. So now Van Vossen. Good call.
Yeah, clearly. Coach making sure how many visits he's had.
Yep. Well, there was one that he had for an injury, and that's
Correct.
what he was kind of clarifying,
Yep.
saying, hey, I didn't plan on bringing the hook just yet, but as you alluded to, there's been some activity in the bullpen previously, if needed.
I have to believe that Findley's ready if needed. She threw 7 this morning and then, warmed up there for about an inning or so.
And frankly, it wasn't an overly taxing 7 that you
No,
threw
it was
this
not.
morning
It was
either.
not.
Obviously, conditions are perfect in terms of playing 3 and throwing several innings today. So both teams timeouts wrap up. And we'll see exactly what Van Vossen is going to be asked to do here.
Again, simple thing you say is bump, but then you only get 2 runners, and then now you got to bat the 9-hole 2, and I don't know. I think I let her swing.
Well, she was swinging away on that one. Van Vossen reaching the fielder's choice and hit a ground ball to second in her previous plate appearances today.
Two-run game, you only need 2. Yeah, certainly. You want to get them both in scoring position, but you need 3.
Sikora will bat for the first time today since coming in to replace Calderaro. She's on deck. That misses. 1-1 the count.
On the other hand, though, you got to throw strikes. I mean, you're looking at 8 and 9, and used to tell pitchers all the time, Babe Ruth is dead. Ruth never batted 8 and 9. Attack.
Liner, foul, 1-2 the count.
And that's not a crack necessarily on 8 and 9 hitters because, again, I say all the time, you win a lot of games when your 7, 8, and 9 people produce. So I'm just saying, though, you're not pitching to Jolie Adams here.
Well, let me also say this. Part of the reason why Van Voss may be swinging away, Sikora's not had a plate appearance yet all year.
Okay, well, there you go.
Your pitcher, so.
Yeah, even more reason.
Right. She needs to be trying to swing away here. Lines this one left field. Richardson, that one got by her. That one will get to the fence. 1 run will score. Here comes a second run around to score. Heading into third base play. Not in time. It's a triple. And it's a 1-run game.
Well, and again, this is no shame at all in Gloria Ridge. That's just one she just simply could not get. She has gotten so many of those, though, this season. I thought when the ball was off the bat that she would get it just because I've seen her do amazing things in the past. Good job of hitting balls on the inner half. All you're going to do is spray it out in the left field. That ball was just hit too hard. Richardson was not able to get the angle on it. Had to run it all the way back to the screen. Good base running all the way around.
First triple for Van Vossen this season. Her second and third RBI. And now the tying run is at third base for the Indians.
And nobody out.
And the infield will play in with a runner at third.
And Sikora went down to talk to Coach Baker Runyon, and I'm sure she just said, look, I don't care what you do. Just let Jolie bat. Just get out of the way.
Tries to put the bunt down. Runner comes home. Play. Got her. Tried the squeeze play. So Sikora put it down, but good job by the pitcher to make the play out recorded. And there's one away.
Interesting call. I don't know why you would suicide squeeze there when you have literally Babe Ruth batting here.
So Adams now will step to the plate.
I don't mind the bunt. Honestly, like I said earlier, you got a young lady batting ninth who's not hit all year. Just get out of the way, so that David or Adams can get up here and hit. But boy, I tell you, I don't know that I like that.
So Bree Bracken will be the courtesy runner now at first base for Sikora. So here comes Adams, who had a ground ball to second base that Smith made a fantastic diving play on last inning.
She has hit the ball hard both times.
Off speed, in for a strike. Adams 0 for 2 with an intentional bases on ball and a run scored today. Adams batting .562 on the season. This one down the left field line, tailing out of play, and Richardson could not track that one down. But Adams down, now into an 0-2 count.
Well, credit Messer here. I mean, this is a pretty good hitter, and she's not backing down at all. Worked her 0-2. Now, again, you can have all kinds of fun now.
What are you throwing here 0-2?
I throw an off-speed pitch that doesn't even reach the plate. Let her swing and miss at just an awful pitch that bounces right about 6 inches in front of home plate.
Ground ball, shortstop, charges, fields, fires, dropped by Goodwin. So the go-ahead run now at first base. Error on the first baseman.
Yeah, she had no play. The ball was not hit hard. She had no play at second. Honestly, she ran a couple steps with it here. I think I would have set my feet and tried to throw it sooner. I don't know if it had been in time or not. Even if she squeezes it, I'm not sure that it's in time.
Kalinsky Popped up to the shortstopper last time up. She's 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored.
That's kind of the pitch I would have thrown or something like that. Now, again, how big is that run cut down at the plate now?
That misses. 2-0 the count. And if Lake Central's able to come from behind and win this game, there's no need for tiebreaker conversations. They're playing Center Grove in the championship game. Line drive, center field, base hit. They're going to stop the runner at third with Hubble in on that one. So the bases are now loaded. And now Schaefer, who had a 3-run homer earlier, will step to the plate with the bases loaded here in the top of the 6th.
All you need is a knock. Now, if you're Sidney Clark back here, again, you're calling the pitches, or at least you're on the same page as the pitching coach who is. Got to block everything in the dirt, cannot let a ball get past you. And if you're Shelby Messer, again, you can't just uncork one here. This is where you really bear down and be very fundamentally sound.
With the runner at second base, she's signaling the pitcher or the hitter and saying, hey, look outside.
Sure.
You don't see her on the camera angle we've got from this side of center, but Schaefer's getting a little help from second base. Popped up. Chase this one. Shortstop circling, makes the play, and there's 2 down. Infield fly rule had been enacted there.
Correct. Saw the third base umpire with his hand in the air here. Once he realized that an infielder could make the play with normal effort. Doesn't matter that they're no longer in the infield. It's just a matter of effort.
So here's Heineke. Singled her last time up. Off speed, just dots the outside corner. And Heineke, as a junior, she is able to play at the Division I level at Northern Kentucky. Clean-up batter.
Dangerous hitter.
Pulverizes this one. Hubble at the fence. Got it. A step in front of the wall. Maintains a 1-run lead for the Arabians. Lake Central pulls back 2. It could have been more. We go to the home half of the 6th, and the margin is 1 for the Arabians.
Yeah, could have been more. Probably should have been more. Again, kind of ran themselves out of an out or a run there, but really nice job by Hubble. Immediately realizing the ball's hit deep, got all the way back as far as she could. Starts reaching for the fence. I love to see the offhand. Again, I'm sure that the left fielder communicating well, saying room, room, room. And Pendleton dodges a little bit of a bullet here. Now, good news, bad news for whatever it is. Lake Central is going to come back up, and they're going to be they're going to have 5, 6, 7, 8. If you do your job, a great camera angle here by our right field camera there.
So it's a step in front of the warning track.
Yeah. So if you do your job, you don't have to see Adams again. Now, if you're Coach Davis, you want to get one back here. You want to get at least one, maybe 2. And you are sitting at 1, 2, 3 for Pendleton Heights.
So Hubble, Koffel, and Clark. And Sikora on for her second inning of work. Again, she has thrown 1 1/3 so far. 2 of the runs that have been allowed by Lake Central are on her watch. Hubble, who made that defensive play in center, will step to the plate.
Yep, one of old Harry Carey's famous sayings always, how many times do you say, a guy makes a great play in the field and he's the first hitter up in the next inning.
So Hubble singled and scored last time up.
He's a dangerous hitter, too, so.
That single generated 2 RBI that tied the game at 5 at that point.
Probably not going to drive the yard, but she'll hit it hard.
Lines this one into left field for a base hit. That kind of open-handed, if you will, that gap between left and right hands that kind of turns out to a slap shot for her. So she has reached for a 3rd consecutive plate appearance, and now you would think that Koffel is going to try to deaden this one in front of home plate, and if nothing else, get Hubble to second base.
Koffel straight up slap hitter, so she's not going to drive the ball anywhere, but she may try to poke it over the infielders. We'll see.
And this was the spot where Day came in to pinch hit for her and hit a home run to make it a 7-5 game. Koffel 0 for 2 in her plate appearances today. Foul ball. 1-1. All other activity has ceased here around the park because this game determines who is playing when and where for the 3rd and 5th place games, and obviously the championship game too. Never threatened the zone. Did that one. 2-1 the count. This game is past the 2-hour, 10-minute mark at this juncture. 2-1 pitch. Outside corner for a strike. 2-2.
Pitch might have been there, but I was a little surprised that the umpire gave it to her because the catcher, upon catching it, immediately brought it back inside. I mean, a lot. So to me, indicating that maybe it was off and she was trying to fool me.
Third baseman charging in. Koffel watches it go by. Sullivan again now at third base, wrenching behind home plate. Schaefer, Morales, and Heineke around the infield for the Indians.
Hubble's got to be smart here. Again, freeze on the line drive, make everything go through. Don't get doubled up.
Koffel's liner. Foul. Foul ball.
Kaya Hubble's hustling, man, all the way into third base. I mean, I'm sure that the umpires out there are yelling foul ball, but probably more the hope or the wish that it had stayed fair kept her going.
Missed it by about a foot. Missed it. Ball 4.
Sydney Clark's going to come up. The 3-hole came into the day at 429.
So Clark hit by a pitch, walked and scored, and great play made against her by Heineke to snare a ball in the air in foul territory. Clark pops this one up. Catcher makes the diving effort to get the out. First out of the inning.
Great effort, again, as it was, and you never tell a kid not to make a play, but probably would have benefited if she'd let it hit the ground because both runners were still standing on the bags. Again, great effort. You're never going to tell a kid not to hustle and not to make a play, but
great job by Wrenchen to snag that one. Now we'll have a meeting in the circle here. This is probably as much defensively as what the conversation is going to be.
Yep.
Goodwin singled last time up. She is 1 for 3 today.
Neither runner left the bag wisely. I mean, you wouldn't want to do, again, get doubled up there. Now, again, you're right. Coach Baker Runyon is out there just saying, okay, go where the ball takes you. If it takes you to the right, go right. If it takes you to the left, go left. If you got to come in, go, then go one. Just wherever it takes you. Need outs.
And Shelton awaits on deck. Shelton, a home run back in the fourth. Goodwin hit the rocket down the first base line last time. Turns on this one. Right fielder looks up. That ball is long gone. 3-run blast. 11-7 Pendleton Heights. Fourth home run of the day. And give Goodwin all 3 RBI.
Well, you just said that she had that massive rip past the first baseman last time, so she's seeing it well and has got a good swing path to it. And nice job of just extending this lead. This is exactly what Coach Davis wanted. And you know what? He'll take more. He'll say, all right, great, fantastic. Now let's get 1 or 2 more.
For Goodwin, her second home run of the season. Those are runs batted in, 5, 6, and 7 for her. Coming into this game, Pendleton Heights had hit 4 home runs in the first 4 games. They have had 4 since the 4th inning. Now a little more breathing room going to the top of the 7th. They'll try to tack on some more. Shelton watches that one go by.
Absolutely. You know, and again, for obvious reasons, you want insurance runs, but, you know, let's keep the momentum going, ladies. We have caught fire since the 4th inning, so let's just keep tacking them on.
And that one sprayed foul. Shelton part of the hit parade in this one. He's officially 1 for 3. That Sales out of the zone, 2-1 the count. And we'll point out that there have been 5 home runs hit in this game. That's with the wind blowing in.
Bo is just looking for something to drive here.
Not that time, 3-1 the count.
Takes a lot of the pressure off when you got the 4-run lead. Now you can just say, you know what, I'm going to make this my at-bat. You don't ever want to think selfishly, obviously, but this is like an opportunity where you can say, okay, this one I'm going to bat like I want to bat.
Outside corner. Strike 2. And not close. Ball 4.
Still a really good at bat for her, though. Obviously didn't get a pitch to really drive, but keep playing.
So Humboldt hit a home run back in the 4th. She scored a run in the 5th as well. At least it was her spot. There was a pinch runner in Rector that scored in that position. So Morgan is 1 for 3 today. There's no activity in the pen for Lake Central. This is Socorro's to finish.
Honestly, they've entered the ballgame with some very impressive pitching numbers, and at least the last 3 innings, Pendleton Heights has just shattered that.
And this is Humble re-entering as the
is
the change in the lineup because the pinch runner was in for the DP, so it really hadn't been communicated there was a change back until just now. Misses away, 1-0 the count.
Shelton down there at first base just kind of being a little bit of a pest there. Now, I like the aggressiveness. You got to be smart. Don't get picked off. But put pressure on the defense. Ball gets away from the catcher at all. I'm going to second.
Off the plate again, 2-0 the count. So Humble, the 6th batter to the plate this inning. In the last 3 innings, Pendleton Heights has batted 10, 6, and now 6 again. Line drive, center field, base hit. Adams kind of played it off of a hop. So going into third will be Shelton, and with that behind the play, Humble rumbles into second base. And they'll give Adams an error in addition to the base hit that allowed Shelton to get to third.
And once again, just great base running. You got to remember that if the ball gets away from them at all, you're running full speed, and now the fielder has to chase the ball, whether it's 2 steps or 3 steps. But that's 2 or 3 full speed steps on your part. Just go. Just go. Take a chance.
Rector will once again go to second base to replace Humble. Now Richardson, who didn't bat last time up, will bat in this position again as she rented already in this spot.
And Gloria, again, just wants to be able to show, look, I'm more than just a way above average left fielder. I can hit a little bit. Coach Davis with some signals here. Now, again, here wouldn't be a bad idea to try to squeeze one in. Kind of get it between the gap between first and pitcher and almost bunt it hard.
Pops it up. Catcher makes the diving play. In foul territory, runners go back to their bags. 2 down. So both outs this inning so far have been made on outstanding plays by Wrenchen behind the dish. So now here's Smith. Smith getting her 3rd plate appearance of this game. Singled last time up.
So when you pop up to the catcher on a bunt attempt, obviously it's an easy second guess. And my only question would be, when was the last time that you asked that young lady to bunt? I mean, I don't think it's a bad decision. It may have been, a bad decision to have that particular player do it. But I like the call in that situation. The sabermetrics guys will tell you all bunts are bad, and I've always argued, is it the decision to bunt, or is it the decision to bunt a guy who hasn't bunted all year in the 7th game of the division playoff series? That's probably the worst decision.
That's in for a strike.
Two outs. Runner on third is really moving on just about any contact unless it's just a dribbler in front of the plate. Runner at second is going to move on anything except anything hit hard to the third baseman.
Turned on this one, but well foul. Pendleton Heights is a batter away from batting around for a second time in 3 innings. Center fielder in Adams is shading towards left here for the number 8 hitter. This is low, 2-2 the count again. And it's 5, 6, and 7 that are due up next time up for Lake Central. And right now the tiebreaker in this pool, if this score holds, would favor Pendleton Heights to play in the championship game. Just missed. Count runs full. Cora looks into the dugout for the shy. And delivers. Turned on this one. Left fielder looks up. That one is gone. Fair ball, home run. 3-run blast, and it's 14 on the board for Pendleton Heights.
Welcome back, Pendleton Heights, in the home run category. A team that I know at one point had more than 30 last year, because I'm on my game notes, I saw that they had 30, has just come roaring back with the long ball.
So 14 runs after not scoring in the first 10 innings today. And Smith gets her first home run of the season. And those are RBIs 2, 3, and 4 on the season for her. Maddie Petty going to bat here in Avery Miller's spot. And this thing has gone in the wrong direction quickly from the Lake Central perspective.
Well, I said it earlier, Greg. When it was 5-0, I started wondering about, hey, are we looking at
Right.
another run rule here? I mean, everything was happening for Lake Central. That things were going well at the plate, things were going well on the mound. And like you said, things have absolutely fallen off the rails now.
Petty getting action in her third game of the season. She is 1 for 1. So 5 home runs hit in total by the Arabians today.
And all of them in the last 3 innings.
And the way that this shapes up, they're going to turn around and play immediately. And we won't televise the next wave of games, regardless of the result here. We'll have the championship game. We know Center Grove will be in it. And it's looking more like Pendleton Heights will be the one that will be joining them.
The break in the action there will give me more time to add to my unsightly weight gain.
You got some options up here. That's for sure.
I'm looking forward to it.
Count is 2-0. Swing and a miss. Hubble awaits on deck. She's already batted 4 times, and she's reached the last 3. And Lake Central made this a 1-run game in the top of the 6th. Where the Pendleton Heights bats exploded again.
And again, goes back to that one particular play. The squeeze bunt situation was looming huge at that point. Now it's a complete afterthought. Give him the run.
Swing and a miss. And it's 3-2. You see the Arabians baseball team checking out the activity down the line. Strike 3 called. Well, that is the end of the inning, but insurance runs and then some for the Arabians. So they've got 3 outs to get 7 runs and book their spot in the championship game. Back in a moment as you're watching on 9 Star and the ISC Sports Network.
My name is Patty Potty, and I'd like to talk to you about all those kinds of convenience products. People are flushing down the toilet, clogging up our sewer system, and causing expensive repair bills. They might flush down, but they sure don't flush out. Make sure you trash them. Don't flush them, only flush the 3 P's. Pee, poo, and paper. Toilet paper, that is. And remember, no wipes in those pipes.
This important message was brought to you by 9 Star Connect, your water and sewer provider.
Once again, I want to thank John Painter and his outstanding crew, and there's one more game left for us to broadcast today. Now, obviously, this game has kind of delayed everybody because of the length of time it has taken and the impact that it has on the other games left in the tournament. But as it stands now, Center Grove and Pendleton Heights would play in the championship game and play for the second time in 8 days after Trojans won here rather handily last Friday.
What I was going to say was, obviously these are professional productions, and John Painter is a pro and Max is a pro. But our camera crew, we talk about all the time, our high school kids.
Yes, they are. They do a great job.
And they do a fantastic job. I've been asked more than once, friends of mine who watch the telecast, about, who's your camera people? Or, that was a great angle. It's like some kid, really, a high school kid, yeah.
Here's Izzy Portenga. Portenga fly ball to left field first time up. The EFIS version of the changeup that time that bends in for a strike. Portenga line drive to shortstop her first time up. Singleton scored back in the 4th. And this little liner gets past the shortstop and Shelton for a base hit.
Yeah, Shelton couldn't get tall enough quick enough.
Well, if you're Lake Central, you need a lot more of that. This is Sullivan. Sullivan walked and scored last time up. This will be her second plate appearance of the game.
I'm sure Coach Davis would love for Shelby Messer to close this thing out, but assuming Lake Central maybe gets a run or two, he may want to think about bringing Finley in to just shut it down.
It tails away, 1-0 the count. You got a couple of more batters reaching before you kind of get nervous.
Right.
Turns on this one, foul ball. 1-1 the count.
Lake Central with 5 runners left on base in the last 2 innings.
The 1-1. Little low. Hubble really shading towards left center here. Ball's popped up. Left fielder coming in. Richardson's got it. And there's one down.
100% her ball there. Again, good communication. We talk every now and then about fly ball priority. All outfielders overrule all infielders. Gloria Richardson decided that she had a beat on it. Got to communicate loudly. You got to make sure everybody can hear you, so the shortstop can peel away and we avoid the collision.
Renshin has reached all 3 plate appearances. 2 by error, 1 by single. Third baseman's got it. Got her. Bang, bang play. Got her. So first time she is retired. And Lake Central down to a final out.
Very, very close play. Nice play by Avery Miller to come up there and just come up throwing. Don't have a lot of time, man. 60-foot base paths, left-handed hitter, so you're going to see the replay here.
Almost simultaneous.
Yep.
Van Vossen. Ground ball. Goodwin's got it. That's it, and that's all. Pendleton Heights worked their way back from a 5-0 deficit, not just to win this game, but to book their place in tonight's championship contest. They win 14-7. Jim, your final thoughts?
Well, I mean, again, just welcome back Pendleton Heights. I mean, this is the Pendleton Heights type of softball that I'm used to seeing. Long balls, get kids on base, 2-3-run homers. Haven't seen that this spring yet. That was my 3rd game. It's kind of nice to see that come back.
So, again, this is how we read the brackets now shaping up for the 4 o'clock games. Obviously, we'll be closer to 5 o'clock games at this point in the championship game. So Jennings County and Chesterton in the 5th place game. Lake Central, Decatur Central in the 3rd place game. And Pendleton Heights and Center Grove in the 1st place game that will be probably starting much closer to 7 than it will be 6. Again, you'll be able to see that live on the 9-Star Connect YouTube channel. Rob Brown will be in for that one along with Jim Leisure. And, of course, we'll have replays throughout the week on the ISC Sports Network as well. From trailing 5-0 to crushing 5 home runs in a 3-inning stretch, that's how Pendleton Heights got the job done today. For now, goodbye from Pendleton. Thanks for joining us on 9-Star in the ISC Sports Network.